morning, depending on
Whatever
when
time you watch.
whatever time you watch. Um, we are back again for our biweekly video. It is June 13th. Commissioner Dorantes is with us as usual. How are you, Commissioner?
Great, Ken. We said that we're gonna scale back on the cadence of these. There's a couple things that we thought kind of had a time sensitive um, uh, timeline too, so we just want to make sure that we get that information out. It's gonna be a quick message to folks. It's June. It's Pride Month. Juneteenth is coming up. Making sure that we stay current on not just observances, but having an appreciation for all members of our workforce and the historic context by which some of those holidays, observances, and things have come to fruition. So our DAT teams have done a great job of making sure that people have that information. But I think the more we know about each other, the better we can engage with those we work with as well as the families that we serve. So let's pay attention to some of that stuff. What else you got on your list?
Well, it's June as well, and so Reunification Month we
Is
celebrate throughout the month,
wow, that's
and
our bread and butter.
just some fantastic work that's been done throughout the pandemic. Commissioner, over 700 youth have been reunified since March of last year. Incredible.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, we've decided that it's important to tell our whole story. And, while when children can't be kept safely at home, that we know that our best preference is for them to be with relatives or someone that they know. And we've seen our relative numbers climb. We also have seen our reliance on congregate care settings be real targeted now to really think about what treatment needs kids have. But the reunification piece is the piece that I love to talk about because so often we're not associated with bringing families back together. And, even in the midst of a pandemic, we were still able to reunify over 700 kids. So that to me is just a tremendous accomplishment and a testament to the fortitude of our staff to still do the work of the agency in the midst of unprecedented circumstances. So it's really exciting. So June is also reunification month.
And again, a huge shout out to our foster parents who have just been fantastic during this time, and our community partners who have, been walking with us side by side to
Mhm.
effectuate reunifications and children going back home permanently. So
Yeah, a lot of times the providers have started the work of reunifying while they're still in foster care and then maintain their connections with families. So, once kids are home, they have some of those same supports. And so we just want to continue to reinforce the message that it really does take a village. It's all of us working together to stabilize things for kids. And reunification is one of those ways that, we can strengthen families, but also strengthen parental capacity to address whatever it was that brought the kids to our attention. So, yeah,
right.
exciting stuff.
And yesterday, Commissioner, you gave remarks to the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association. And as we indicated to staff a couple weeks ago, this group has pooled their resources together to sponsor 80 children who are on DCF in home cases or recently closed cases to go to camp for a week. And we'll include that link again in this week's
Hmm.
memo.
You know what was good, Ken? There were so many police chiefs that said to me what a great relationship they have with their local DCF offices. I got not one complaint, and it was a room full of police chiefs from across the state, and it was really exciting to be with them for their annual meeting. I gave them some remarks that really were specific to the camperships that you're talking about, but I did take a minute to talk about the collaboration that we have with law enforcement doing the work that we all do to protect kids and families and work together to assess whether or not children are in dangerous situations. And I just thank them for their ongoing partnership and commitment through a really tough year. And many of them came up to me, at the break to talk about that same thing, and how they wouldn't change a thing in terms of the relationships with
That's
DCF.
great.
I also wanted to make sure that we again not leave any slot open. It's summertime, and what I said to the Chiefs yesterday, as they're completing their fundraising efforts to be
Yep.
able to do this, is that we know that summer camp is something that sometimes is viewed as a rite of passage for kids in the summertime to just kind of exhale. This year, I said it was a lifeline because kids have been cooped up,
Absolutely.
isolated, and we kind of have to get them playing again and get them being around other kids. And outside and appreciating all the things that you learn at summer camp opportunities. And so we have the Sibling Connections camp that's also being recruited for, and then the Law Enforcement Week camp in July. So we're going to make sure that we include the registration information for both of those. Please, 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 let's make sure we have kids represented from across the state at both of those opportunities for the sake of the kids, but also for our partners.
And again, to reiterate one piece of your message, we are asking workers
Yeah.
who we understand are so incredibly busy to really help our families fill out that registration form, get them in.
Yeah.
We have Jackie Ford as our statewide coordinator. So any questions, jacqueline.ford at ct.gov.
Yep,
So,
and we'll put that in the link. The other thing that we thought that was important to say today is that we got some clarity a little bit more on the interim telework guidance.
yeah,
There won't be an application needed, so everyone who's teleworking right now, that's voluntarily coming in, or whatever it is that your current status is right now, is eligible to be able to continue in this interim capacity of telework up to 50% of the time after July 1st. So up until that time, it's that voluntary arrangement if you want to pop in. And again, I say voluntary 100 times, and then people still
right.
will question whether or not that's the case. I really want people to have an opportunity to just see what it's like to start heading back. We've been away from the office for a long time, and things are getting back to better instead of normal. We also know and we recognize that the schedules are being developed through the chains of command of each of our physical locations. So, if you want to take advantage of that up to 50% of the time, make sure you're talking to your direct supervisor as they're coming up with schedules. And, we have 3,200 staff members at any given time, and trying to organize that, of course, like 2/3 of them, or, almost 75% of our workforce was
Yeah,
teleworking. So we
exactly.
really do want to try to make the most fair and balanced schedules that we can, understanding that to do so, may need some, organization. And so that's what we have our chains of command working on right now. And the last thing I think that will help people understand what we're working with is that the capacity limits inside have
Yeah,
been lifted. So although we're not trying to stick to a certain number, the way that we are organizing these schedules is really trying to decompress the physical amount of people in a space at any given time. But we are trying to approach this from not just common sense, but really trying to follow what we know about the guidance that the CDC, DPH, and our engineering partners have been giving us to make sure that our physical spaces are ready for our return. So we're headed in the right direction.
we're ready. We're ready.
Definitely
So
ready.
a
Definitely
lot of
ready.
information clarified. Great.
Yep.
So, Commissioner, before we get into our statistics and offer staff the opportunity to shut the video off, any other messages?
Get outside. It's wonderful out. I know we've had a couple of humid days, but it's really a good opportunity for staff to take vacation and get themselves kind of in the right headspace to really resume not only the recovery efforts for physically moving back into the office, but a lot of our families will need us, and we need to be of our best selves. So take some time. I know I've committed myself to walking more and getting outside and getting fresh
Mhm.
air. Take some time off if you have it to prepare yourself and rejuvenate after just a tremendously hard year.
Yeah, great. So at this time, if staff do not wish to hear the updated statistics, they can go ahead and shut off the monitor. What we have to date are 374 caregivers, uh, 313 staff, 313 youth, and 405 staff, for a little over 1,100 total positives since the beginning of the
I
pandemic.
think it's 1,000. What is it? 1,095. I don't think we've reached 1,100 yet, right?
Yep,
Of the group,
yep,
yeah. This week represents a +3 in terms of how many more people in those three categories.
yep,
One of them is a data reconciliation. We found out a positive that we hadn't counted that was earlier on. So it's slower, but it's still there. We know
yep,
that this virus is still there. I read an article that indicated that most of the people that are hospitalized are folks who have not been vaccinated. So
okay,
again, the message is continuing to just push getting information out to people who may need more information or might be a bit hesitant, but that might be the best way to be able to protect yourselves from a virus that we know has been unrelenting.
yep. Yep. And again, if we believe via our contact tracing that a staff member has been exposed, or if there is a staff member that's been positive in a work location,
Yep.
all staff in that location will be notified, and specifically the individuals that we believe have been exposed. So
That's right. That's
those,
right. Yeah, that process has worked for all, over 1,000 people now that we have stepped through, and we've got a contact tracing process that's pretty tight. So we're really proud of the work that we've done to mitigate the transmission amongst those three groups that we've been following the whole time. So let's maintain our vigilance. Let's follow the rules and continue the, just appropriate things that we know that have kept us pretty healthy.
you bet, you bet. So
Right.
have a great couple weeks, and we'll get messages back out to staff in due time.
All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.